Ever feel like you're drowning in a sea of marketing tools trying to keep your business running smoothly? What if you could simplify it all with one platform? That's where Go High Level comes in, your all-in-one sales and marketing solution built for small businesses like you. In fact, Go High Level has over 1 million users just like you. With Go High Level, you can capture leads, automate your prospect and client journeys, quickly and efficiently build stunning websites, sales pages, and sales funnels. Imagine managing your CRM, email, SMS, and funnels without duct taping a dozen tools together. Plus, their unlimited plan lets you add as many contacts and users as you need, no hidden fees. We've been using Go High Level for over a year now and absolutely love it. In fact, Profit First Nation is also powered by Go High Level. Ready to level up? Start your Profit First Nation extended 30-day free trial today at www.gohighlevel.com/Profit First Nation. That's www.gohighlevel.com/Profit First Nation. Streamline your workflow, impress your clients, and grow smarter, not harder.
Welcome to Profit First Nation, the official podcast for entrepreneurs who are operating their businesses in the zone of permanent profitability. I'm Mike Malowitz, the author of Profit First, and now here's your Profit First Nation guide, Danielle Mulvey.
Hello, my entrepreneurial friends, and welcome to another episode of Profit First. Today, we're actually going to talk about a big aha I had with one of my startups, the All-In Company. You've heard a little bit about it. You know I'm collaborating with Mike Malowitz on his next book that is now coming out in January 2024. And so it's been a really interesting process. Glad I'm collaborating and not have the responsibility of writing the book. But what we've been doing behind the scenes and while the book is being written and the collaboration is designing the programming around the content of the book, because the book is great, just like Profit First is a fabulous book, but oh my gosh, having a podcast to support it and really kind of help you dive in and peel back the layers, or working with a certified Profit First professional just makes such a difference when you have more hand-holding and guidance in the process after reading one of Mike's fantastic books. You can do the same with Clockwork, The Pumpkin Plan. There's all programming around those titles by our dear friend, Mr. Malowitz. So for the All-In Company, in 2022, we ran several different versions of the program in a beta type version of how we deliver the programming. And, it really was like an aha that I think I can impart this aha on you guys as well. So we had done, oh my goodness, so many different varieties and iterations, the same content, but just the way it was delivered. We did our first beta was actually at the end of 2021. And our first beta involved the members of that cohort showing up every single day for 8 weeks for an hour at the same time, plus some extra bonus sessions. I mean, talk about dedication and commitment, but probably not, appetizing, or who really has 8 weeks solid that they can commit to every day, the same time, every single day. And so then we tried other versions. We tried, a shorter version. Well, then everyone wanted to continue on. So we did a 2-week version, and then they wanted to continue on in the program. So really it became then the next session was a 4-week session, and then it became another session built upon that, and everyone wanted to continue the whole thing. And it really ended up being, again, 8 weeks. So still had the same problem because people wanted to stay on the train. But then we started doing sessions where we had individuals and in a 4-week session, and we brought in the team. So in our first iterations, we only worked with the entrepreneurs because just like in Profit First, you have to own the financials of your business as the business owner. You have to understand your numbers. You really can't delegate Profit First to someone else. You can delegate the allocations. You can delegate the sort of admin support work. But as the owner, you have to be the one that's determining the allocations. You're the only one who's determining how much you're going to spend in the business and how much you're really going to save in the business. That can't be delegated or outsourced. So the kind of the same concept with the all-in company and, teaching owners how to crack the code on recruiting, hiring, and retaining 5-star employees was important that the owner understood it, because the owner, you're wanting to build your dream team, right? And when you build your dream team, you're basically wanting people who think and act like you. So of course we need your input if we're going to clone you and attract and hire and help you recruit and retain people who think and act like you. So not a commercial for the all-in company at all, just sharing my story here. So what's interesting about that is when we got into the 4-week cohorts and then we allowed the owner to bring in like 2 or 3 members from their team. So it wasn't just the burden on them to do everything, but they were the ones still directing things. They were the ones making the final say with their teams and such. We took a group through. And believe it or not, you might recognize this name, Casey Anton. At the end of it was like, oh my gosh, that was amazing. It was so helpful. My team's like loves it and just has so much clarity and direction and understanding now. And we can take the ball and run with it and recruit more effectively and hire better. But she said, I wish I could have just paid you $30,000 for you to do this for us. And I was like, really? Because $30,000 is a lot more than we charged for our 4-week program. But that made me think, it's like, yeah, you want done for you services. So then we have now revamped the program again and really changed it up based off of that fact that today, in today's marketplace, and, depending upon who and what you're selling to, whether you have a service, I mean, you can turn that into a product. Absolutely. It's more about how can you incorporate done for you services, because that changes the game for you. And when you're offering something that's done for you, then, you've up-leveled the product, because now it's going to be so much better because you're kind of controlling it a little bit more than putting it in the hands of your client to be, making the results for themselves. So here's a quote that I found that I feel like kind of really just drives this home to a certain degree. And really now I want you guys to get thinking about your business, because I promise you, regardless of what your business is today, there is a way for you to incorporate more done for you services in your business. So now customers, they want to hire a product to do a job. And as a legendary Harvard Business School marketing professor, Theodore Levitt, puts it, people don't want to buy a 1/4-inch drill. They want a 1/4-inch hole. Okay. I'm not going to drop the mic here, but that is like a mic drop movement. How many times have you had to run to Home Depot and buy a tool to do one small task? I mean, literally, I've had to go and buy something at Home Depot too. I had to buy a 1/4-inch drill to make a 1/4-inch hole. Did I really need the drill? No, I just wanted the hole. So, again, like with the done for you services and thinking about things from a different perspective, what can you do more for your clients? How can you do it better? And you know what the big aha was for us? Was when we had our programming that was, teaching them how to do it and giving them templates, giving them, prompts, like really, almost making it a little Mad Libs where they can do a lot of the work themselves. And it's not like they're just working with a blank page. It still was not leveraging their strengths. Let's just say that. And so, when we would review their work, we would review their job posting, we would review their outline for their dedicated recruitment website, et cetera. It was like, whew, it took a lot of surgery on our part to kind of like massage it without offending them and, get it to the place where it would be. Where when we kind of flipped the script and went with Casey's recommendation of like, well, can't I just pay you a lot more money and you would do it for me? Yeah, absolutely. We totally changed it. And so, now instead of being an 8-week program or a 4-week program, it's now 5 days to 5-star hires because we're doing the work. And so we have it dialed in where we can produce the assets for recruiting and hiring that we used to teach them how to do. And with their input and collaboration, we just knock it out and we do it in 5 days. And, that brings me to kind of like the next phase of how you think about things. What is your customer's problem and when do they want it solved? And how much burden can you take off of them? How much friction can you take away? How much of the part that they're not really good at can you do for them because you're really good at it and your organization is really good at it? When people want to buy a solution and they want to buy it from someone like you, they're looking for you. Like they're wanting to pay a premium price because they're getting a premium organization to do the work who have likely 5-star employees and it's a 5-star employer and it's just best in class. So think about how, that's the spin on it. Our team is fantastic and they're doing this. It's like white glove. It's VIP. It's doing it better, faster, but maybe not cheaper at a great value. They also don't want to feel overwhelmed. They want to know just enough. And this is hard for me because maybe you've caught on at this point in the podcast of all of our 3 years of producing this podcast that I'm pretty literal. And I want to make sure that you understand the detail behind things because I tend to attract entrepreneurs like me who really kind of want to understand things. And I think it's just the nature of some of us entrepreneurs because our why is to make things better. And so when we understand every aspect of something, then that kind of helps us understand the ingredients of how to like level things up and to make things better. So that's fine, but your audience is probably not an entrepreneur. So, how can you give them less information? And again, assume the burden. What more can you do for them without them having to do it? So, for example, I'm going to be honest. It is Father's Day coming up, it's recently passed Father's Day 2023. But when I'm recording this episode, I'm thinking back to the gift I gave my husband for Father's Day 2022. And it was a gift certificate to have the garage floor epoxied and like all fancy and nice. But guess what? It hasn't happened because in order to make that happen, I am going to have to clean out the garage in its entirety and provide a blank slate for the company that is going to come in and do that. Now, if there was a company that provided done for you services, and I would be more than happy to pay a premium that would probably cost me, to be honest, maybe 50% or double the price that I'm paying for them to come in and clean out our garage and kind of put it back together nicely. Not fantastically, but just put it back together nicely. It would have gotten done, but we're coming up on a year later. Oops, he has not been able to redeem that gift because I feel the burden is on me to clean out the garage. And to be honest, I clearly don't have the time, nor am I motivated to make the time. So that brings us to number 3 is like, how can you incorporate convenience and speed into delivering results for your client? So if you are a garage resurfacing epoxy type business, go out and add this level of service to what you're already offering. And I am sure the phone is going to be ringing off the hook, and you're going to get closing businesses faster, because it kind of becomes well, we want this done, but now, like, when do I have time to take the time to empty the garage, put the stuff in a secure spot, et cetera, and then put it back in? Like, that is what's keeping me from making this purchase. So convenience and speed. And then people want clarity and direction when it comes to making things happen. And so, maybe you offer a service to help put things back, but you're helping with an expert who comes in, not the person who resurfaced the floors, but an organizational expert who came in. I mean, oh my gosh, these organizational shows are so hot right now, like the Home Edit. And people want that. But, they're intimidated by it. But when someone comes in to help them and to do it and and the owner gives their input, and then voila, they make it happen. That's where the direction and clarity and, my garage is going to be a million times better. Now I'm super motivated to hire this company to come in, and not only am I getting the floors resurfaced, but I'm also getting an amazingly organized garage. I don't know. Maybe I'll share a picture when this episode comes out in social media. Here, I'm promising it now. I'll send you a picture of the disaster of a garage I currently have, and then you'll be like, oh yeah, she definitely needs this done for you service. So when you think about upleveling or offering a done for you service for your clients, how can you give them more of you, more of your expertise, more of what makes you guys special and your team special? And then, how can you give them less information? How can you not overwhelm them? Number 3, how can you give them additional convenience and speed? And then, number 4, how can you also provide them with the direction and clarity so that it's getting done super fast, and no mistakes are going to be made? The garage is going to be put together back by a true expert in the field. Because remember, as Professor Levitt said, people don't want to buy a 1/4-inch drill. They want to buy a 1/4-inch hole. So that also gets me to, how people buy. And, a lot of times people are really buying based off of their emotions. And so how can you tap into the emotions? We talked a little bit again about they want more of you. They want your expertise. They want less information. They want convenience and speed, and they want direction and clarity. But now kind of think about things of, where are they now, and where is the future state of them once they receive the results or achieve the results of the product or service that you sell? So, what are they thinking now? So again, back to this garage epoxying scenario, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, the garage is a disaster, but oh my goodness, it would look so much better. And my husband likes to work out in the garage. I like to work out in the garage. It would be, kind of nice if we had a nicer floor, for that, instead of, a cracked concrete everywhere. But I'm thinking, but it's such a mess. It's going to be so much work. But in the future, gosh, not only am I going to have a nicer floor, but everything's going to be put away and organized and really nice. And I'm going to be even more motivated to be hitting the garage and working out in there. What are people feeling? Again, what's the now feeling and what's the future feeling? And really kind of channel in on that, because again, that's what people want to buy. They want to get from where they are now to the future feeling. I want to feel like my garage is the Taj Mahal of garages. It's beautiful. It's pristine. It's clean. And then what are they doing now? And what could they be doing in the future? So, to be honest, this is like a true confessional. The garage is a disaster. Like, I don't want people to see the garage when we have guests over. It's like, oh, I got it. Like, oh no, you stay here. I'll go get it. I'll go get it in the garage. Please don't follow me. Because it is pretty bad. It's mortifying. You'll see in the pictures. But what could they be doing in the future? I could be doing more. I could be, having people work out with me. That would be better accountability for working out in the garage. If I felt like two people could work out in the garage together and it was a nice, clean environment to work out in. And then what's possible? So what's possible? Like, where are they now? And then where could they be in the future in terms of what's possible in terms of them buying your product and service? So, hone in on those negative emotions and feelings, those things that are kind of hanging them up right now about making the move to purchase from you. But then also too, show how the done for you can help them get the results that they want faster and better and never cheaper. You should be really making sure that you are charging a premium. So of course, there's only two ways to increase profitability. Number one, increase margin, and number two, decrease expenses. And, when you're offering done for you services, yes, there's added expenses in it. There's additional labor. There's other things involved, but that means that you can even go higher with your margin. You can charge a super premium, not just a premium, but you can charge a super premium because no one else is doing it. This is what your clients and your customers want. And now you've really kind of created, to a certain degree, a category of one. And you are going to further and faster outdistance yourself from your competition, because I know you guys are grinders. You guys want to make a difference. You guys want to be, you're competitive. You want to be the best. And this is an opportunity for you to really, again, create a category of one, outdistance yourself from the competition, and be making a higher margin, because now there are plenty of people. You can't serve everyone. And of course, there's going to be the people that want to spend the least. Those are the worst customers. And they're going to price shop, and they're going to buy the lowest cost person who can just do the floor, and they're fine. They've got plenty of time. So they're going to be able to move in and move out their stuff and whatever, reorganize it, or maybe just never even make that purchase because they're like me. But there are plenty of people, more than enough people that you can serve. So get over it. There is no scarcity here in terms of customers when you up-level your product or your service and offer a done for you model, something that is giving them results faster, better, higher end. Done for you is the ticket and the secret, my entrepreneurial friends. So we we're on video now. If you're listening to this in your normal fashion, just want to let you know that you can also catch us on YouTube on our channel, Profit First Nation on YouTube. And then we also have those advanced show notes now as well. And if you want to collaborate with other entrepreneurs, then please check out Profit First Nation, where we've got some exciting community opportunities for you to join in on. And I am now doing live Q&A a few times a month, so we can connect and I can answer questions on the fly, super fast, live and with you. And finally, of course, the best way to be accountable and to be a rock star when it comes to doing Profit First right is working with a certified Profit First professional accountant, bookkeeper, or coach. And so you can connect with one of my certified Profit First professional peeps at profitfirstnation.com as well. Cheers to another profitable day, my entrepreneurial friends.
Thanks for tuning in to the Profit First Nation podcast. We hope you found today's episode valuable and that it's inspired you to take action towards achieving permanent profitability in your business. If you want to learn more about how to implement Profit First in your business and connect with a community of like-minded entrepreneurs, be sure to visit us at profitfirstnation.com to download our how-to guides and resources. Remember, permanent profitability is within your reach, and we're here to support you every step of the way. So let's do Profit First right together.
Profit First Nation website, related podcasts, and videos are provided for general information purposes only and do not constitute accounting, legal, tax, or other professional advice. Visitors should not act upon the content or information found here without first seeking appropriate advice from an accountant, financial planner, lawyer, or other professional.
Hey, this is Ro, and if you're a business owner struggling with hiring or just tired of doing it yourself, I highly recommend the Build Your Dream Team Secret Podcast series. There are 7 episodes packed with real stories from founders who've cracked the code on hiring, built high-performing teams, and finally got out of the day-to-day grind. My favorite part? It's not fluff. It's systems, strategy, and results. Text DREAM to 55444. That's DREAM to 55444 to check it out. You'll thank me later.